Hello and welcome back to Wellywood Wargaming. I thought I'd just do a very quick video on the Las Vegas Open 2023 miniatures that Games Workshop have revealed. For all their systems actually, we may as well go through and do the entire bunch, but there's been a lot of hubbub and a lot of, well, certainly in the Necromunda and Kill Team community about the first thing that we're going to be talking about, and that is Kill Team Soul Shackle, so a new, I guess, another box set for Kill Team. Now, I don't actually play Kill Team myself, but many of my Necromunda compatriots will be very into this one. And I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on the Adeptus Arbites. I never really know how to pronounce it, to be honest. But let's have a look at the miniatures here. I mean, everybody's been waiting for these for a very, very long time. I used to have the old metal models of these, and well, certainly the first edition that they released were some of the best, if you ask me, sculpts that Games Workshop have ever done. Yes, they were very Judge Dredd back in the day, but I really like that about them, and they've certainly got rid of that aesthetic here anyway. But yeah, so we've got a new Kill Team box set with all of the sort of boarding action stuff type terrain in there as well. I haven't actually got my hands on it, but I have seen it at the gaming group here in Melbourne that I go to, Axes and Ales. Shout out to those boys. But I haven't managed to play on that yet or use it in a sort of Necromunda game or anything either. But let's look at these Adeptus Arbites Exaction Squad that it comes with. It comes with two kill teams in here. We've got some Dark Eldar and, of course, the Adeptus Arbites as well. I don't know how to say it. I'm just going to keep saying it feeling wrong the entire time. Anyway, let's have a look at the models and the aesthetic. Now, overall, I was pretty excited about this. I know many of the members of the Necromunda community are really excited about using these as enforcers or something. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm kind of into 40k lore, and I kind of feel like using these models in Necromunda is fine. It's totally fine. You can use them as a proxy for an enforcer gang. Why not? But I don't feel like these guys belong in Necromunda. They're far too elite. They just wouldn't be dealing with any of the small-time shenanigans on Necromunda. These guys are supposed to be dealing with the absolute highest priorities in terms of the Imperial policing, I suppose. Anyway, that's just me. But let's have a look at the models quickly. We've got, I believe, 10 in the set, plus a doggo, a cyber doggo, K9 pet here. But first off, we're going to look at the sort of captain, whatever he's called here. They've all got fancy names, of course, because it's 40k. But this guy looks pretty cool. He looks... Okay, I'm just going to dial it back a bit. The entire team, on the whole, for me, I really like the look of it, but they're really, really overly busy and overly cluttered for me. Now, it does say on the article that these guys are going to be coming in sort of multi-part kits, and you can sort of do them how you like. The guy with the shotgun on the right there, or whatever it is, the bolt gun, shotgun, I'm not really sure what it is, looks fantastic. But the guy on the left here, the leader, I think is what he is. He just looks too cluttered with that crazy floating sort of speaker next to him. It's cool, but I don't like it on that particular model. I like the headgear, I like the armor, I like everything about it really. The aesthetic's really cool. Again, the paint job, I'm not really into heavy metal style paint jobs, so these guys I think would look a lot better, slightly more grimdark looking, a bit grimy I suppose. And maybe done in the Judge Dredd colours as well, just for a laugh. Moving on though, let's look at the second image here. We've got another sort of guy with his sort of bolt gun, I believe, there as well. He looks really cool, really like that. Love the shoulder pad, love the helmets. The helmets actually really remind me of the Blood Bowl sort of Reekland Reavers or whatever they were called in the newer version of Blood Bowl, not the Nobles, but the one before that. Quite similar sort of heads actually. I do quite like them though. They're very sort of, they've kind of gone a bit like a sort of knightly order here. They look like they're wearing sort of knight armor, I suppose. The guy on the right, really cool. Is obviously a big dude with some shackles in his hand and a huge shock stave. Again, really like the miniature, but it seems overly cluttered to me. I think the shackles in the hand there is stylishly kind of cool, but I don't know. It's too busy for me. That's the only problem I've got with this one. I love that head though. I think the head is fantastic. Moving on to the next one here, we've got what looks to be a sort of sniper. Now, that sniper rifle is massive, is it not? It's absolutely massive. These guys are not Space Marines. They can't carry stuff that big, and even if they could, it looks a bit silly to me, a little bit derpy. Sure, it might be really good in Kill Team, it might be really good in 40k as a weapon, but I just wouldn't use it because rule of cool, and to me that doesn't look cool. It looks kind of shit, actually, if I'm going to be completely honest. Guy on the right though, with the pistol, looks amazing. Again, I do prefer the less busy, less cluttered look on these guys. The only problem with that guy is the head looks just like one of the Space Marine, what are they called? The scout guys. Can't remember what they're called, but yeah, looks like one of those. We've then got a guy with a riot shield and a shock stave, looking pretty cool. I like the fact that the riot shields are actually very, very similar to the Necromunda subjugators there as well. Similar sort of size, perhaps a teeny bit smaller, but definitely a crossover there. And then we look to have some sort of medic there as well. Also really cool. I quite like the fact that he's carrying some sort of stave and a sort of Medicaid kit there as well. Nice models, those two. Then we've got what seems to be a heavy stubber by the looks of it. Again, massive. Is it too big? Yeah, I think it kind of is, actually. So yeah, I'd want to probably shorten the barrel down on it or something, make it a bit more stubby. You know, if I get these, I probably will make some pretty big modifications to them. Love the guy on the right there, loads of character there as well. But what I'm noticing is that Games Workshop in general, they've always done it and they're still doing it. They can't have a single miniature with an open hand, and it does my head in. And I'm starting to notice it more and more, but they never have anybody having nothing in one hand. They have to just make stuff too busy. Everybody's got to have either two weapons or just some sort of gubbins in the offhand, and it does my head in a little bit, to be honest. It's, you know, it's just bloody unrealistic, I tell you. Of course, it is a science fiction universe, so you know, I suppose it should be unrealistic. But last one here, we've got the Cyber Doggo. Pretty cool, actually. A little bit too comedic for me. I would like a slightly more evil-looking, snarling sort of thing, but this kind of looks a bit too cute for me. So I don't think I'll be using that in any of my games anytime soon. But it's quite a cool model, even so. Looks more like a statue than an actual moving thing, though. And the sort of handler there looks quite cool again, with the leash in the hand there as well. But that's those guys. Moving towards the Dark Eldar. Sorry, here we've got these Cabalite warriors basically. Now, I've never collected Dark Eldar or played Dark Eldar. I've always quite liked the aesthetic and I like the idea of them as well. But these guys, just having a look through them, they look a bit tired and a bit old. I don't think there's really any improvement on the miniatures here to what we actually see in the sort of regular 40k stuff, and that stuff's been out for quite a while now. The Cabalite Warriors have obviously been out for years and years, and these guys don't really look like a huge improvement. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are they actually? They look like some of the same poses. Yeah, I don't know about this one. They're kind of cool. They just look a bit outdated to me. There's some cool gubbins here. There's one throwing a grenade there, but overall they look a bit played out, if you ask me. They look very similar to other stuff we've seen time and time again. So that's that. Let's just have a look at the terrain there. The terrain again looks very, very similar to the last set, the Gallodark set, I believe it was. So really cool to get your hands on this. It could be used for Necromunda or Kill Team or 40k boarding actions and stuff. Really, really nice. Probably going to cost an absolute arm and a leg. You probably need to sell a kidney or remortgage your house if you live in Australia or New Zealand. But just on the whole, looking at the Arbites or the Arbites here for this Soul Shackle box set, I was really excited about seeing them coming back into 40k, but I must say I'm actually a little bit underwhelmed. I think they're really nice miniatures, don't get me wrong, and I probably will own them at some point, but I just feel they're too busy, they're too cluttered, and they kind of just look like Space Marines, really, in a lot of ways. And you might disagree with me on that one, but that's fine, that's what opinions are for. Anyway, moving on a little bit, we're going to talk about all the stuff at the Las Vegas Open here. We might as well go through the entire lot. The next thing we've got is the Cerberus Heavy Tank Destroyer for Horus Heresy. Now, I haven't actually played Horus Heresy. I really should, to be honest, because I do have an interest in it. I just don't have the money to be able to collect an army for it. But if I did, this tank is pretty nuts. It's off the chain. It's got a massive gun on the front there. I have no idea what any of it is, but it looks very cool. It's some sort of Land Raider variant, I suppose. Really, really cool. But yeah, I've not really got more to say about that, to be honest. I'm sure it'll be a hideously expensive kit as well, like all of these huge vehicles are. Moving on to the next thing though, and this is something I am quite into, and I've got to be honest, the next one's Warcry, Blood Hunt. Now this is another box set, which is again quite similar to the last one that we had in terms of the scenery and stuff, the terrain that you get with it. But you've got 2 new war bands, I suppose. And they're really interesting. I honestly can wholeheartedly say that Warcry models on the whole, since they've been released, have all been fantastic. I haven't seen any that I dislike. I've used them for lots of conversions in Necromunda and stuff, and I probably will do here. And I'm quite excited about this one actually. Now you've got two warbands in here. The first one is basically some monastic vampires from the realm of Gur. These guys look incredible. Now these guys actually excite me a lot more than the Kill Team box set. In fact, I just love the look of these guys. They've got a kind of Asian inspired sort of aesthetic to them with the blades and stuff. Really, really cool. I love the rope around the waists there as well. Just ropes in general look really cool, to be honest, and on this sort of scale. We've also got this fella with the really sort of pasty complexion. Looks like he might have a crack habit actually. He's got a bat on his shoulder, but really cool looking miniature. In fact, they all are. They go with the double sword there, the double-handed sword. Also awesome. Very samurai looking actually, with the sort of skirts and belts and everything. So love these so far. The next one we've got is sort of a halberd or a sort of spear there, and what looks like a sort of werewolf, a sort of skinnier version of a werewolf. Fantastic looking models. I absolutely love these. And yeah, just more of these. Great. A whole warband of really cool looking Asian inspired samurai vampires. What's not to like about that, basically? The next warband you get with this Warcry box set is another Khorne warband, this time dedicated to the flesh hounds of Khorne. So these guys obviously worship flesh hounds kind of, and have sort of taken on the aesthetic of the flesh hounds here as well. And the flesh hounds have always been really cool since back in the day when Realm of Chaos books came out. And they're certainly very cool here. I love this leader. Again, this kit could easily be used for you Necromunda listeners out there. This could easily be used for corpse grinders or something, perhaps. I would say that you could certainly kit bash these into to being corpse grinders. Corpse grinders have got that sort of Khorne thing going on, I suppose, on the sly. But yeah, lots of flails and axes and whatnot. We've got a guy here that's running on all fours, looking particularly beastly. It's kind of a little bit silly, but I do quite like it as well. And you've got the guy with the sort of meat hook there and some sort of axe. Really, really cool with all the furs around the neck there. But yeah, really love the aesthetic of these guys as well. So the regular sort of troops in this set look really, really cool as well, with the sort of again with the fleshhound headdresses and the really cool looking weapons that look almost like teeth, I suppose, as well. Really, really nice looking warband. I love the masks there as well on these spear guys, and the scenery looks pretty cool as well. Now, if you're into playing Mordheim, I'm going to be starting a Mordheim campaign pretty soon. This scenery is actually pretty good, not just for Warcry, but for Mordheim as well, I would say. So it might be worth picking up if you're into playing both, or one or the other. But really, really nice set there. Can I afford it? Absolutely not. But these individual, particularly those vampires, I'm most definitely going to pick up at some point. Not sure what I'll use them as, or what game systems I'll be using them as, but very excited to paint those up. And maybe convert them into something slightly more samurai-ish as well. Looking on to the next thing, and that is, of course, Age of Sigmar. Now, I don't play Age of Sigmar, but I do like a lot of the models. They are pretty out the gate with the posing and just the crazy dynamic stuff that's got going on. And you've got some Slann and some new Lizardmen, basically, some new Seraphon, as they're known. We've got a Slann, a fat guy on a floating chair, looking pretty cool. I think this is a new Slann here, Slann Star Master. Really lovely model. I can see this being used in Golden Demons and whatnot. It's super complex, loads and loads of details on it. Probably going to break apart in your box when you're trying to take it anywhere, but really cool model, and really nice paint job on that one as well. And then you've got these skink sort of riders on sort of dinosaur beasts that look a bit like sort of velociraptors, I suppose. Raptidon chargers, I believe they're called. Really love the mounts, not so keen on the skinks. The skinks look a little bit comedic for me. They always have done, really. They've got these kind of little smiley faces and they're just a bit cheeky looking. But I love the mounts. I love the sort of the faces on them look really almost like, it's hard to tell whether they're actually masks or the actual monster beast's face, but they're pretty cool. Scary chickens, I suppose. And then we've of course got these new Horus, I suppose is what they're called. Now they're pretty cool, I suppose. I'm not sure about the... I think they're definitely an improvement on the last lot. However, you know, they've certainly got more... They look a bit more fierce than the last lot and a bit more chonky as well. Certainly going to be bigger. But the, you know, the sort of armor plating around the face, or the sort of scaling around the face, looks like it's probably gonna... I don't know, it just looks a bit impractical. I can't really see an actual reptile in the living world having sort of scales on the cheeks down there like that. It just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking shit. Not really sure here, but just not sure about the scales on the cheeks there. Everything else looks pretty cool. I love the paint job of this blue one with the sort of glowing tongue and eyes and stuff. Really, really cool, that one as well. Looking into the last little thing now, in fact not the last little thing, but we're getting there, is these Daughters of Khaine. There's a new warband for Warhammer Underworlds here. Daughters of Khaine, nothing exciting to report here at all if you ask me. Now if you're into these guys, sure, but they look exactly the same as all the other Daughters of Khaine models that we've got out there. Nothing new really to me to look at. I can't spot anything that stands out and makes me want to own these guys and convert them for any other game systems either. Just look a bit dull really to me. The paint jobs don't do them any justice here either. I don't think the paint jobs are particularly good. Sorry, have to say that, but it's true. And now we go into 40k, and here's where things get a little bit interesting. We've got some more specimens, and yeah, a new dreadnought. Pretty cool. Really like the look of that dreadnought with the big claws and whatnot. And we've got this new sort of this new box set, Strike Force Augustus, by the looks of it, which has got some new units in it for Space Marines, for Primaris Space Marines, and they called it Desolation Squad. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but these look utterly stupid, right? Surely. Everybody thinks this, because I mean, just how big are those guns? Like, I mean, it's cool in that, you know, having big guns and whatnot, but these are just far too big. I guess they're sort of Primaris Devastators, I suppose, but they just look utterly ridiculous to me. Not really sure what's going on here, but you've got these guns with three different sort of weapons all in one, combined, which looks utterly silly to me. There's not really anything else I can say about these guys, but yeah, some heavy support, I suppose, that's been missing from the Primaris infantry arsenal is what it says here, and it certainly has. Of course, they haven't got the sort of Devastators yet, I suppose, and these guys are going to be the equivalent. But yeah, just really terrible looking miniatures, if you ask me. I like the look of Primaris Marines, and I have, you know, an army of Minotaurs that I've never used, but I certainly won't be adding these to that army because they just look dreadful, and rule of cool and all that. Sure, they might be good in the game, but they just look dog shit to me. The next thing is, of course, a new Primaris Lieutenant kit. Actually looks pretty cool. It's got lots of options here. You've got power fists, power swords, you know, different types of bolt rifles, bolt pistols. You've got a plasma pistol or a Volkite pistol there as well. Looking pretty cool. Quite a nice little kit with lots of build options. Hopefully won't be too expensive either. But that's really it from the Las Vegas Open. That's all I'm really going to talk about. I'm just looking at the models and their aesthetics in general. Sorry if that was incredibly brief, but the real thing I wanted to talk about there, of course, was the Adeptus Arbites there, which to me, I'm just a little bit underwhelmed by, I'll be honest. I probably will own them at some point, but meh. I don't know. I'm finding it hard to get that excited about them. Everybody else is going nuts all over Instagram and stuff. I'm not seeing it, to be honest. I'm actually more excited by these vampires, to be fair. Anyway, that's it from me. So please do like, share, subscribe, and thank you to my Patreons as well. I'll be back with a proper video real soon. Peace out.